Okay, this is going to be the second half of 9.4. So we're going to use this as video 9.4 day 2. I started this at the end of yesterday's, but I thought it was a little too much. So these are a little bit harder. Like I said, I don't know if you watched yesterday's end of the video. You cannot distribute into a parenthesis with an exponent. So unfortunately, everybody wants to distribute. You cannot. The only way to get rid of this 6 is to divide by it. Just divide both sides by 6. And when we do that, we're left with x minus 4 squared equals 7. Okay, so now, just like yesterday, when we have something squared equals a number, to solve, we square root both sides. And just like yesterday, squaring and square rooting cancel each other out. And we're left with x minus 4 equals, now let's just leave it as square root of 7 for now. Don't forget that it's plus or minus. Whenever you square root, it's plus or minus. Okay, now to officially get x alone, what do we need to do to both sides? If we want to get x alone, we need to add the 4 over. Add the 4 to both sides. And I know this looks really weird, but now x is going to equal, and I'm going to write it in the other order. Instead of this plus this, I'm going to switch the order and write it as 4 plus or minus root 7. Because that should look familiar to you guys to solve. When you have plus or minus, remember you have to write the problem twice. So in the calculator, we're going to do 4 plus root 7, and then we're going to do another version with the 4 minus root 7. Type this in the calculator, type this in the calculator, and those are your two answers. Okay, so let's do 4 plus root 7. We get 6.65 rounded. And then we'll do 4 minus root 7. And we get 1.35. And those are your two answers. Okay. Let's try number 8. I promise these are going to make more sense as we do more. Okay, so same thing on number 8. You cannot distribute in. So guess how we're going to get rid of this 2? We're going to divide by it. Divide both sides by 2. Okay, let's see what happens. We're left with x minus 2 squared equals 9. Okay, and now we think, when you have something squared equals a number, to solve, we square root both sides. Square root both sides. And then remember, square rooting a square will always cancel. We're left with x minus 2 equals, well, why don't we actually do this? What is the square root of 9? Isn't it 3? So let's put 3. Don't forget plus or minus. Square roots always have plus or minus 2 answers. All right, one more step to get x alone. We need to add that 2 over. Okay, so what do we have here now? We have x equals, I'm going to switch the order. So we have 2 plus or minus 3. All right, let's do our two versions of the problem. We need to do the plus version, so that'll be 2 plus 3. And we need to do the minus version, that'll be 2 minus 3. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Those are our two solutions. And then we have two more problems for some more practice because this is not easy. Okay, number 9. Again, no distributing the 4. We need to divide both sides by 4. When you do that, you're left with q minus 3 squared equals 7. When you have something squared equals a number, you square root both sides. You guys know the deal. Square rooting a square, they cancel. We are left with q minus 3 equals square root of 7. I'm just going to leave it because I don't know what that is, but plus or minus. Okay, almost done. To get q alone, we need to add the 3 over. Okay, add the 3 to both sides, and now we have q equals, again, I'm going to switch the order. You don't have to. I'm going to call it 3 plus or minus root 7. And now we get our two answers. We have to type it in twice, remember? One of them is 3 plus root 7, and one of them is 3 minus root 7. And those will give us our two answers. So 3 plus root 7 on the calculator is 5.65. And 3 minus root 7 on the calculator is 0.35. If you follow the steps, it's not too bad. All right, last one, number 10. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. You are left with t plus 5 squared equals 8. When you have something squared equals a number, we square root both sides. Okay, square rooting a square cancels. We're left with t plus 5 equals. Now, I don't know what the square root of 8 is, so I'm just going to leave it as square root of 8, but let's put plus or minus. Okay, to get t officially alone, we do have to subtract the 5 over. And let's see what we have. Again, I'm going to switch the order. You don't have to. When I switch the order, it's going to be negative 5 plus or minus root 8. And that's what I'm going to type in the calculator twice. The first version is going to be negative 5 plus root 8. And the second version is going to be negative 5 minus root 8. And let's type those in and we are done. Okay, so we have negative 5 plus square root of 8. That gets us negative 2.17. And then negative 5 minus root 8, that gets us negative 7.83. Okay, so thank you for watching. That was 9.4 day 2. We'll practice that in class more tomorrow.